Times writing about this. They've been having these positive tests for listeria, this Dole Food Company plant. Food companies that find listeria during product testing. I'm quoting now from Stephanie Strom's piece in the New York Times from last week. And last Friday, I guess it would have been. Food companies that find listeria during periodic testing are not required to run further tests to determine whether the pathogen is a toxic variety. See, there's some forms of listeria that just kind of make you, loose, shall we say, and then there's other forms of listeria that will kill you. But if a factory finds listeria, they don't have to do the genetic fingerprint to figure out which kind it is. And so in Dole's case, they're talking about this. Rather, Canadian public health officials suggested investigating an outbreak of listeriosis dating to summer of 2015, and they tested bagged Dole salads and found 4 varieties that were contaminated. Another company with a problem like this, Bluebell Creameries. Bluebell Creameries knew it had a listeria problem in one of its plants about 2 years before it moved to close it and never said anything. 10 people got sick and 3 died. They talk about this lawyer who's representing one of the people who got sick. Mr. Marler said his client became ill after eating a salad her daughter had prepared using a Dole product. He said the woman was in a coma for 3 weeks, developed meningitis, and is still in rehab. Dole appears to have first detected listeria in its Springfield plant in July of 2014. Now, remember the story I told you out of my book, out of Unequal Protection. That story was from 1998. Here we are a generation later, right? Almost, a decade and a half later, 2015, and a little more than a decade and a half later. And the company found listeria in the plant. Dole appears to have first detected listeria in its Springfield plant in July of 2014, but the company kept processing salads and shipping them to locations in the United States and Canada. The company found listeria in the plant at least 5 more times in 2014 and 3 times in 2015, according to the FDA report. But the factory kept churning out bagged salads until January 21st, 5 days after FDA inspectors showed up. Dole initiated a recall a week later. Public health officials in the United States and Canada, writes Stephanie Strom. Public health officials in the United States and Canada had been trying to find the source of the outbreak since fall of 2015. According to Food Safety News, they put the genetic fingerprints of the listeria obtained from victims into pathogen databases and found a close match in a bagged salad that Ohio inspectors had randomly collected and tested. So here, once again, we have the CDC hysterically running around looking for a source of contamination when the company that's producing the contamination that's actually killing people just keeps on churning the stuff out. Hey, we got to make profit. The first obligation of a corporation is to make a profit. And if a few people die, hey, as long as the rules are that, the executives aren't going to go to jail, then what's the big deal? Bluebell, the food. This is from a piece that 3KTBS did. CNN's Ralph Yellis and Holly Yan contributed to the report. The Food and Drug Administration estimates that every year 48 million people, 1 out of 6 Americans, suffer from foodborne illnesses. More than 128,000 people are hospitalized, and about 3,000 die from infections the federal government says are largely preventable. We've got a 9/11 going on every year just because our corporations are not being held to account for food safety. They talk about how ConAgra Foods, this is a piece from the Associated Press, July 13th of last year. A May 2015 settlement with ConAgra Foods for $11.2 million after the company shipped Peter Pan peanut butter tainted with salmonella from a plant in Georgia, sickening more than 600 people in 2006. That sum includes the highest criminal fine in a U.S. food safety case, $11 million. What's a life worth? Or what's sickness worth? This is pretty amazing stuff.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.